You know, Jamel.
Yes.
You see him in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Would you point him out for us?
Right there.
This young man right here?
Yes.
You know him by another name?
Melly.
The one and only witness for YNW Melly's defense takes the stand. We're looking at the top moments from his testimony. Thanks for joining us here on Law and Crime. I'm Angenette Levy. Adrian Davis was the only witness called to testify for Jamel Demons, who's also known as YNW Melly. He knows everyone involved in this case, including the victims, Christopher Thomas Jr. and Anthony Williams, who were known as Juvy and SakChaser. He also knows Melly's co-defendant, Cortland YNW Bortland Henry. Specifically, Adrian Davis says he has known Melly since they were in the 6th grade.
At any time during school, did any of you have any problems with each other?
No, not at all.
Would you label yourself good friends, associates, close friends, or what?
Good friends, close friends, best friends.
He also talked about a nickname they had for Melly.
Did Melly also have another name besides Melly and Jamel?
Yeah.
What was it?
We only call them that, Crazy Legs.
Crazy Legs.
Yeah.
And why was he called Crazy Legs?
Because he liked to dance.
And that's why he got that nickname.
Yeah.
Was Melly a big kid, normal sized kid when you guys were in school?
Small.
Did there come a time that Melly, and when I'm referring to Melly, I'm referring to this young man, Jamel.
Yes.
On the night of October 25th, 2018, Davis was at the recording studio with Melly, Juvy, Sak, and Bortland, and also with the people who got into the red Mitsubishi that night.
And what was the purpose of going to the studio?
To make music.
Did anyone fall asleep at the studio?
Yes.
Who?
We all did.
That was from the day of smoking weed and having a few drinks.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Did any arguments occur between any of you at the studio?
Not at all.
After 3 a.m. on October 26th, hours later, they all left in separate vehicles. Davis was in the red Mitsubishi with Dontavius Withers and Travion Glass, who had testified earlier. Also in that vehicle, Jacoby Mills.
Did you leave the studio earlier than what was scheduled?
Yeah, I believe so. We were all in there asleep.
Will you tell the jury who got into the red Mitsubishi?
Me, Jacoby, Trayvon, and Tate, Dontavius.
Okay. You know who got into the Jeep?
Cortland, Jamel, Sak, and Juvy.
Where were you going? Did anyone fall asleep in your car?
Yeah, we about all did except for the driver.
Did there come a time that you were woken up before you got to the house?
Yes.
What happened?
We pulled over, and that's when Melly got in the car with us.
Do you know where you pulled over?
And I don't really remember.
Were you woken up?
Yeah, but
Why?
it was like, because I was getting pushed over a little bit.
The testimony differs from that of Travion Glass, who testified they were all going back to Melly's house, and when they arrived, the Jeep carrying Melly, Juvy, Sak, and Bortland was no longer traveling with them.
Were you woken up?
Yeah, but
Why?
it was like, because I was getting pushed over a little bit.
Okay. And are you 100% sure that this young man got into the red Mitsubishi?
Yes.
What happened to the Jeep?
I think they just kept going.
Did he have to unlock the door?
Yes.
Do you know who has the keys to Melly's house on October 26th in the early morning hours?
Jamel and Borton. They the only one who had keys to the house.
Did you have a key to the house?
No.
Did Williams have a key to the house?
No.
Did Christopher Thomas have a key to the house?
No.
Did Trevon Glass have a key to the house?
No.
Did Jacoby Mills have a key to the house?
No.
And how about Dontavius Williams? Did he have a key?
No.
Okay, so the only two people you know who had a key to the house was this young man
Yes.
and Cortland Henry.
Yes.
Did you see this young man unlock the door of the house?
Yes.
Who was the last person to get out of the red Mitsubishi to go inside the house?
Trayvon, he was in the car still asleep.
He was in the car asleep when you got to his house?
Yeah.
Davis testified that Melly was with them when they arrived at Melly's house in that red Mitsubishi. Then he was asked about when he found out that Juvy and Sak were dead.
When you heard that, did you see Melly in the house?
Yes.
Did you see Melly how he was dressed in the house?
Yes.
What was he wearing?
Shorts and a t-shirt, I think.
Okay. Upon hearing that Sak and Juvy, and I really should use the correct names, Anthony Williams and Christopher Thomas were shot, what did you guys do?
We were already dressed and stuff, so we just left with Fredo's house.
Was anybody upset or crying?
Yeah, we all were crying.
Was this young man crying?
Yes.
Are you sure of that?
Positive. And
where'd you go?
Fredo's house.
That would be Fredo Bang?
Yeah.
Do you know Fredo Bang's real name?
No.
Frederick Gibbons, by any chance?
Yeah, I think I've seen it.
Did there come a time after you got to the house of Fredo Bang that Cortland Henry showed up?
Yes.
Did Cortland Henry tell you what happened?
Yeah, he said it was a drive-by.
When Cortland Henry arrived at Fredo Bang's house, was Melly there?
Yes.
Did you eventually leave that house?
Yes.
Approximately what time did you leave that house?
I really don't remember.
Where'd you go?
Back to Jamel's house.
Who went with you?
Me, Trayvon, Jacoby, and Fetty.
By the way, when you first learned that Anthony Williams and Christopher Thomas were shot at the house with Melly, did anyone get on the phone?
Yeah.
Did anyone have any problem locating their phone?
Yes.
Who was that?
Jamel.
The defense has suggested throughout the trial that many of Melly's friends used his phone, that it was a community phone of sorts. The prosecution had earlier presented text messages showing Melly's phone sending his location to Fredo Bang, who appeared to pick up Melly. Defense attorney Stuart Adelstein then asked Davis about that music video shoot that Melly and Bortland attended later in the day, hours after the murders, where Melly was dancing and Bortland appeared to be smiling.
When I backed up for a minute, you were telling the jury that you went back to Melly's house.
Mm-hmm.
You got into yes or no?
Yes.
She can't say. Take down, shaking your head. How'd you get in?
The door was unlocked.
Were you aware whether or not Melly had a contractual agreement to do a video shoot that day?
Yeah, it was something like that. I know he probably would have lost a lot of money if he didn't go to the music video. He was upset.
Was Melly crying at Frito Bank's house?
Yes.
Were you crying?
Yes.
Because you all grew up together.
Mm-hmm.
Then Assistant State Attorney Christine Bradley cross-examined Adrian Davis.
Mr. Davis, you said you're 100% sure that Mr. Dennis found out at the same time you did.
Yes.
No questions about that. You're sure he was at that house?
Yes.
And you were upstairs?
Yes, ma'am.
He was downstairs.
Yes.
But you're sure he was there, you could see him.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
And you are 100% sure his phone was missing?
Yes.
Where in this statement on May 5th did you ever say that?
Objection.
Suggestion.
It was never asked.
Thank you. Counsel, so I guess the objection is improper impeachment, so rephrase your question.
So, you met with me on May 5th, 2022, you remember that?
Yes.
And you remember sitting down, you were present, that's a yes?
Yes.
Your two attorneys were present that you brought, that's a yes?
Yes.
And I asked you questions for quite a number of hours. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Okay. And do you remember being asked if you had met with anyone else with regards to this case?
Yes.
Okay. And do you remember being asked if you had met prior to speaking with me with the attorney sitting over to my left?
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't know who they were, and
She also asked Davis about Melly's cell phone.
So on the phone on that, do you remember if Mr. Devins had a passcode on his cell phone back then?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? And in terms of, would you be surprised to find that there was one on that cell phone?
No.
Did you know the passcode?
I don't think so. I don't even remember if he had one. We all use this phone sometimes. We all use each other's phones.
So you would use his cell phone? Why?
Talk to females.
You'd pretend to be him to get women? Because you couldn't get them on your own?
Objection.
Why would you use his phone then?
Let me rule before you ask the next question. All right? It's overruled. Go ahead, answer your question. Go ahead, ask the next question.
So, with regards to your living situation there, you were not paying any rent, right?
Oh, man.
And nobody was paying any rent in that house except for the defendant.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Then she asked him about that prior statement he had made to her and Melly's attorneys in May.
You mentioned that you said Mr. Demons went to his room.
Yes.
Have you ever answered that question differently?
No.
Okay. On May 5th, 2022, remember that statement?
Mm-hmm.
At that point, did you say, I don't know where he went? I assume his room.
I don't know.
You don't know. But looking at your statement, help refresh your recollection on that?
Yes.
Okay, page 34, lines 12 and 13, counsel.
Yeah.
Okay, so did you previously give a different statement that you didn't know where he went and you were assuming he went to his room?
Yeah. He went into the room.
So with regards to the car, you're saying that you got pushed over when somebody got in the car?
Yeah.
Okay. And with regards to being pushed over, did you wake up when that happened?
Like it was flashes. Like, yeah, I guess you could say I woke up.
Okay. And did they move you over or climb over you?
I don't remember.
Have you ever made a statement different than that?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Okay. Again, page 33. Question was asked: did they climb over to get you to the middle, over you to get to the middle of the back seat? Your answer was I think I was at the window, so no, I think they might have climbed over.
Okay.
So is it your testimony that somebody climbed over you or you pushed over?
I mean,
Or that you don't remember?
yeah, I don't really remember.
You don't really remember?
Yeah.
Okay. And in terms of the phone, right? Did you see anyone get into that gray Jeep?
No.
I asked Melly's former attorney, Bradford Cohen, what he thought of Davis's testimony and the defense calling just one witness.
Yes, I think that I think it's a difficult witness to put on the stand because I think that most likely your client probably wants that individual on the stand because that individual is willing to say, hey, he was not there. He was at my house watching TV. And they might not be thinking of the different ways that that individual can be cross-examined or that individual is going to lose some credibility in front of the jury. And then all of a sudden it becomes a credibility weighing issue where if they put on no one, it's just the state having to prove their case. And I think there's enough holes there that at a bare minimum, you could hold up a jury and that they would come back a hung jury as opposed to a guilty verdict. But again, like I said, I'm not there every day. I don't know what they're thinking or what their strategy is, but they obviously have a strategy, and that's the strategy that they're going with. And sometimes your client overrules what you want to do. I don't know if that's the case here, but certainly that's a consideration. But like I said, I probably wouldn't have put on anyone if it was just going to be one witness and that was going to be the witness.
Meanwhile, Melly looked happy after Davis stepped off the stand. He declined to testify in his own defense. Closing arguments are set for Thursday. Tune into the Law and Crime Network to watch them live. For Law and Crime, I'm Angenette Levy.